Welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. We have the 2020 feature, sports with Brian Camp, and entertainment news with DJ Pete. So settle in with coffee in hand, and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, everybody. TGIF, here we are. It's Friday. Here we are, another day, and we're coming up to the end of the week and approaching the weekend. It's Friday. My name is Frank Allan, and welcome once again to another edition of the Coffee Hour. We're going to be with you for the next hour. As usual, we're sipping coffee, having donuts, having tea, or whatever your favorite beverage is, and we're getting together and enjoying conversation and passing it back and forth to all of you. And we have so much to do today. We're going to talk about so many things. We want you involved in the show. That's the whole thing, is to get you involved in the show. And for you to do that, all you have to do is conversate with us by typing right there, and I will see you right there on the big screen, and I will acknowledge you, of course, and entertain all of your thoughts, ideas, your questions, and whatever, and we could just say hello. And not only that, people who come in as well, you can chat with other people as well as chatting with me. So we're all personable people here, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing this. Thank you so much for being along with us. And we are all around the world, no matter where you go. I don't care where you go around the world. We're right there. We're global because we're broadcasting live here on Facebook. How about that? We're broadcasting live on YouTube, and we're also on Instagram. And of course, it's all of us together. And I did say broadcasting live on Facebook, right? I am so happy to be here. Welcome back, Facebook. Welcome back. As you already know, we've been away for quite a while. And well, you know the whole story. And just in case you people in the Facebook community, you haven't been keeping up with us, we have been on live all the time since we've been off Facebook, and we were off Facebook for about 59 days, right? That was the punishment for us. But we don't want to go too much into that because the most important thing is that we're back. And so if you haven't been following us, then you probably didn't know that even after the show we did live, we also later on put it there on Facebook, rebroadcasting the replay on Facebook. We did that every week. So those of you people who are in the Facebook community would also have a chance to watch the show anyway, even though you didn't get a chance to watch it live. Other than that, you could have followed us too over to YouTube, where we were broadcasting live, and on Instagram as well. So we were all over there, and we're making sure that everybody gets a piece of the action, right? So that's why we broadcast all of these different places. And if you haven't been following us, you know that we have still broadcast. You know that we still broadcast. We still have been broadcasting anyway, even if you haven't followed us. But because we've been advertising it on my Facebook page anyway. Every time we go on the air, before we go on the air, we always put it up there and let you know where we are, where we're going to be. And we also posted the fact that we weren't going to be on Facebook until further notice, until we return. And we steered you over to YouTube, where you can check us out. And there are a lot of people over there in the community of Instagram. They have their platform. We always broadcasting. So I want to say hi to all of you guys, wherever you are watching us, and a pleasant Friday to you. Later on in the program, we have a lot of things to talk about. Later on in the program, I was telling you that Brian Camp will be here. He usually does the 2020 feature. Now, we heard from him earlier before we went on the air, and plans has changed. We talked to him last night on Talk Back Live when he was doing the sports then, and he told us that he would be coming in like early to do the show because he's doing other things too. I got a call from him this morning before we went on the air saying that he wouldn't be able to come on today at all, and that he was supposed to send me information. I haven't gotten that information yet. So what we're going to do at this particular time, we're just going to say we're going to cancel sports for today, but we're going to keep all lines and communications open just in case he happens to pop in on the telephone or pop in on Zoom. We'll be ready for him. and then he can do his sports then if he happens to do that, because he gives us a surprise every now and then that way. So it's kind of like he's in a position where it's like he doesn't know what's really happening just yet. He only knew that at one particular point that he couldn't make it, but we'll see. We'll keep the communications open. We always do. Also later on in the program, DJ Pete, who won't be here as well. So it's going to be a one-man show today. DJ Pete will not be here as well because DJ Pete, he's doing other things as well. But he did send us information for his time, his information for people of notoriety who are in the entertainment area. And of course, people who are celebrating birthdays within this week. So we have all of that. He sent us that. He made sure we got that. And so we'll be doing that 20 minutes to the hour. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so let's get started right away and lift our cups and glasses or whatever you're doing. And let's say salute, because what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. Oh boy, that's great. That's delicious. Okay, now, since we're back on Facebook, I'm glad to be back on Facebook. I really am. You know, and did you guys miss me? I missed you. I really did. And I'm glad that we're back. It's going to take a little while before people discover that we're really back. People were probably wondering where we were all of this time. So, you know, communication is very important. That's why we try to convey all of our communications to let you know exactly what we're doing, where we're going, and how we're operating things. And so we're back. And those of you who are joining us, you want to join us, you want to sit there idle, that's okay. As long as you're there, whatever time you could spend with us will be appreciative. Now, a lot of you are coming from your homes. We're coming into your homes and your offices. Now, if you're in your office right now and you have that 15-minute coffee break, why not join us? Stay with us. Stay at your desk. Take that 15-minute at your desk and continue to watch us. And then when the 15 minutes is over, you'll still stay with us. You could do a thing what we call multitasking. In other words, do your work, but you can still watch us at the same time. A lot of you guys are good at that. I know you are. And so there you have it. And those of you who are going to be chiming in conversation, we really would appreciate that. You can talk about anything. This is free exchange, open free exchange, and of ideas and of opinions, and of course, just talking to each other. And as I said before, even though you can talk to me, you can also talk to other people who may be out there as well. Okay, and so there you have it. Now, if you're going to chime in, give us a weather forecast. We really appreciate that. Wherever you are, we really appreciate that. That's not something that we say that you have to do. It's something that we just like ask you to do if you like. It's not mandatory that you do, but we really would appreciate your weather forecast. Now, if you're living in the New York area, all right, don't worry about it. We're originating from New York, so I will take care of the weather here. But the rest of you, you're coming out of different towns, different states, different countries, and you're chiming in, you know, say hi and, you know, type in a little weather forecast as well. So we're going to give you our weather forecast right now. And our weather forecast, let me tell you something. Here in New York, yesterday we had a great weather forecast. It was nice and sunny, a nice spring weather. It was nice and springy, and just people were outdoors, taking it easy, outdoors, you know, with their short sleeve shirts and just taking it easy, And now we got to pay for all of this. We have to pay for all of it. And as soon as I can pop up the weather forecast, which I thought I had earlier, I'm going to pop it up right now. Let me see if I can pop it up right now and see what we got here. Okay, I'm going to go to the weather, and let's see. We'll do it right here. Let's see. Manhattan, that's where we are, Manhattan for the area, says Manhattan, and there we go, and we've got it. Okay, so we've got 57 degrees outside right now. That's what we have for the moment. We have 57 degrees, and it's cloudy. Now, the temperatures may get a little warmer today, and we're 57 degrees after 10 o'clock here in New York right now. So, which means, you know, the temperatures are going to boost. We're 57, but I don't think it's going to go higher than that, not much higher than that today. Not much higher than that, because it's going to be rainy and all that. So let's do that weather forecast right now as we speak. We've got rainy weather today. We're going to have a high 58 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. Chance of rain will be 100%, and rainfall will be a half an inch. So that sounds like a lot of rain. Now for tonight, tonight will be rain, likely, of course. And rain likely will have a low around 50 degrees. Winds will be east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain, another 100%. So the rain just keeps on coming. Rainfall may reach 1 inch. So that's a lot of rain coming in. We're having a soaker among us. For tomorrow, Saturday, here in New York, occasional rain. We'll have a high 51 degrees. Winds will be northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Chance of rain will be 90%. Rainfall around 1/4 of an inch. And winds could occasionally gust up to 40 miles per hour. Saturday night, if you're going out, take that umbrella. Continue light rain early, then remaining cloudy, low 44 degrees. Winds will be northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour, and chance of rain will be 70%. So we drop for the percentage there, but there's more chance of it than not. And winds could occasionally gust again to 40 miles per hour. Now, for Mother's Day, I think we get a little break. Not a lot of sun, not sun at all, overcast skies, but it will be dry. Overcast, high 52 degrees. Winds will be east or northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. And winds occasionally gusting again to 40 miles per hour. So Mother's Day, Sunday, even though it's going to be overcast, it doesn't look like it's going to rain at all. So you can take mom out, you know, take her to a nice show, take her to dinner, you know, go to her house or whatever you do, however you're going to spend time with your mom. If she's still around you, of course, you're going to spend that time with us. Happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you mothers out there, young and old. Thank you so much for being with us here on Talkback Live. So there's so many things you can do to take your mom out. If you're in New York, we got Broadway. You know that, right? We've got Broadway. So you have all the Broadway shows, you have all the big restaurants, and I'm pretty sure all of the restaurants are going to be packed. They're going to be making a lot of businesses because a lot of people are taking their moms out for dinner, you know. The traditional way we used to do it when I was a kid, we used to go to church on Sunday, right? Sunday morning, and after Sunday morning church, we took mom out to dinner. You know, I'm in my teens, right? And I have to flip the bill at age 16, but I was able to do it. You know, when you know Mom's Day is coming, you're 15 and 16 years old, you know Mom's Day is right around the corner, not too far away. You kind of want to save up your pennies. You kind of want to save them up. So this way you could have a pocket full of money and then be at least affordable enough to take your mom out to dinner or something like that. That's a smart way to do it, you know. So ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Mother's Day, and I hope you do. And please enjoy, when you're going to go to these restaurants, right? And these indoor places, please proceed with caution. It's not like it was before. Wear your mask up, you know, because we're in this variant again. We're back into it, and we want to get out of it. And somehow, hopefully, we'll get out of it. You know, pretty soon we'll get out of it. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens. But again, you know, you take mom out, but please just do it safely. You know, wear the mask. Of course, obviously, you're not going to wear a mask while you're eating. You know. And hopefully you go to one of those restaurants that are well ventilated. You know, that's very important to what's happening right now. And you can do that. So there you go. So Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day. And a happy day to all of you out there. You're watching wherever you're watching right now. We're here live on Facebook and Instagram. And YouTube, I think we're having another technical problem. Again, we had a technical problem last night. So what we'll do, if that problem continues, is if it keeps going on for the rest of the show, what we'll do, we'll have the broadcast. We'll rebroadcast it on YouTube, but the most important thing right now is that we're on Facebook Live and we're on Instagram Live. So those of you who are under the sound of my voice, meet us at one of these places. It's all here for you. Okay, excuse me, guys, while I shoot up. Okay, so there you go. There you have it. Okay, so Mother's Day, as I already said, we got that out of the way. That's good, and it's great. And we've got some further news here on the coffee hour. And yesterday, we were celebrating Cinco de Mayo's Day, right? So that's the thing in the past right now. We celebrated that yesterday. Here's some news for you that you probably already know about, but we'll bring it on to you yesterday. Just last Saturday, country singer Naomi Judd passed away at the age of 76 years old. Naomi was famous for collaborating with her daughter, Winona, creating the duo called the Judds. And her second daughter, Ashley, is an actress. She's also a global humanitarian and a political activist. So they're all active. And unfortunately, she didn't stay around long enough to see them get the induction to, I believe it was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't think she died just before that happened. But the sisters showed up, Naomi and Ashley, they showed up for the celebration and for the festivities. Of course, emotionally, they lost their mom. So it was very emotional for them. So we just want to send our condolences out to the Judd family, Ashley and Winona. And I never knew the Judds. I never knew them. I never even met them, except for I met Naomi, the mother. I met her a while back. And I didn't know her. I didn't know her personally. We didn't hang out. We didn't do any of that. I didn't know her personally. I didn't know any of that. But she was a very nice person the time that I spent with her. She was a very nice person. And, when I met her in church, and as she was processioning in, I didn't know she was coming in, or I guess everybody else did. They had this procession where she came in, she processioned in, and she passed me by and gave me this beautiful smile, this great, wonderful, warm smile. Now, I'm not saying I was a special guy, because she did it with everybody as she was going through. But it was special to me to get a nice, radiant smile from Naomi Judd. And after, service was over, I got a chance to talk to her, and we talked for a while. And she was very nice, a very warm person. And I noticed people who knew her personally said the same thing, that's how she was. So I didn't know her personally, but the little time I spent with her, I got that out of her. But they said, people who actually knew her said that she was that kind of a person. So again, we want to send our greetings out to the Judd family and our condolences to all of them. We're going to really miss her. I'm going to miss her. Carly Simon, the folk singer and songwriter, will be inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Speaking of that, right? And she'll be joined by Dolly Parton, Eminem, Lionel Richie, the Eurythmics, Duran Duran, and Pat Benatar. They're all going to be inducted for the 2022. That's marvelous. And it's good to know that everyone is alive to see this. Every one of them are alive to see this. And so we want to congratulate to Carly Simon, to Dolly Parton, Eminem. Dolly Parton should have been in there a long time ago. I mean, a long time ago. So should have Carly Simon. But the most important thing, that they're there to see it. And again, Eminem, he's there. Lionel Richie, the Eurythmics, and let's see, Duran Duran and Pat Benatar. They're all inductees. That's marvelous. So congratulations to each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, it's 19 and a half minutes to the hour, or after the hour. And the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allen, and we're going to be with you for the balance of the show up to the top of the hour. We're here every Friday, as you already know, between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. 1 hour of entertainment, and all of us get together. We have a little coffee and we get together and interact. And those of you who are out there, please don't be shy. Say hello. I missed you. Something. We would love to hear from you. And a lot of you out there, you just want to stay out there and you just want to be idle. That's okay too. And those of you who are in your offices and all the other workplaces, and you happen to be under the sound of my voice and you're watching the show right now, we thank you so much for being part of this show. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I said earlier that usually at this time, it's 20 past the hour right now, usually at this time, Brian Camp comes along with the latest developments in today's world of sports update. I told you at the top of the hour that Brian had called in at the last minute, and they told him at the last minute that he couldn't, he had other things to do, so he couldn't be here to do the sports. He told me he would call me back, and I was looking for maybe the material that he sent in. I haven't received anything yet. And my producer, he didn't receive anything even now. No, Al? Okay. My producer didn't receive anything yet as well. But if anything comes along, we'll pass it along to you. But right now, as it goes right now, we're canceling sports until we hear otherwise. So 20 past the hour, but I can't tell you this in today's world of sports. We can talk about sports anyway, and I'm going to be a little selfish about this, and I'm going to talk about the Yankees, my team, the Yankees. They won 12 in a row, and the winning streak was broken the day before yesterday. But that's okay, because right now the Yankees are in first place in the American League East, and they're looking good. The Mets are doing good, I understand. And I would hope that both of the teams, both of the New York's team, keep up the good work and keep up so much so that we can get another World Series, a real Subway World Series, a New York World Series. Yankees, Mets play the World Series, and watch the Yankees sweep the Mets by 4 games. I mean, if anyone to rebut, any one of you guys out there who are Met fans, you want to rebuttal, that's okay. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. We could talk about that. All right. But yeah, it's great, and they're doing very well. So the streak was broken the day before yesterday. So this weekend there's more baseball. We'll see what happens this weekend. Maybe they'll go back on another winning streak. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. It's just exciting to see my Yankees just do good. And I was always with them, good or bad, whether they're down in the dumps or up there in the air. I was always with them. That's a true fan. And I've been a Yankee guy ever since the age of 14 years old. That was a long time ago. 14 years old, I was a Yankee fan. And until this day, I'm still with them. So there you go. Also in the sports world, Willie Mays, the Say Hey kid. The Say Hey kid. Yeah, you know who he is. Willie Mays. With the started, he with the New York Giants back in the 50s, they played the Polo Grounds. But Willie Mays is celebrating a birthday today. Willie Mays is celebrating his birthday today on this day, May 6th. So happy birthday, the Say Hey kid, Willie Mays, celebrating. And I'm just so glad to see that I understand that he's still in good health. He's still doing well. And he loved that game, baseball. He loved the game. And, he always played whenever he played. And then later on, when the Giants, as they started out in New York, there was the New York Giants, and they played at the Polo Grounds. They didn't have a stadium, so they played at the Polo Grounds. And when they went out to San Francisco, he was still with them. And then later on, and consequently, San Francisco, I couldn't understand to this day what happened or why that happened. But in I believe it was 1972. Yeah, 1972, he was traded from the San Francisco Giants to the New York Mets. Remember that? Yeah, he played the Mets for a short while. And people were up in arms about that. I mean, he was a San Francisco guy. He was a New York guy, San Francisco guy, all of these years with the Giants. And then the Giants traded him to the Mets. Can anyone tell me the logic in that one? But I guess it didn't really faze him that much because he likes baseball. He just loved the game. If you put him there in another major league team, it didn't matter, which they did. They put him in the Mets, put him with the Mets, and he did continue to play baseball. And then consequently, he was short-lived with the Mets, of course, obviously, because I had with all the long-term years of being with the Giants, and retirement came along, and then and if I'm not mistaken, he came off the playing field and he coached for a while, I believe. If my memory serves me correctly, and if I'm standing to be corrected, please let me know, and we'll talk about that. But I believe he did coach for a while, and so he had great years in baseball. But he's celebrating his birthday today, and happy birthday, Willie Mays, a say hey kid. And that's it in sports. Now, I would have loved for Brian to be here with all of those, all that information in sports. And I can tell you, I used to go to see Willie Mays play. Now, this may sound selfish, but I used to go to when he ever come to New York, right? Because back in those days, there was no interleague play. It was American leagues and the National League, and they played each other, right? The American League played American League teams, National League played National League teams. And whenever Willie Mays came into town, I made it my best to go and check him out. And I had to go to Shea Stadium. They was Shea Stadium. The Mets had Shea Stadium back in those days. And I was a kid. I was a young teenager. And I got tickets to Shea Stadium to watch the Mets play the Giants. And I never forget, I was sitting in the box seats, right behind the Mets. I believe it was right behind the Mets dugout. And it was closer to the on-deck circle. And I got to see Willie Mays on deck. It's closest to Willie Mays as I was going to get. But it was great baseball back in those days to see those guys play. And, those guys like Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle and all of those guys, those legendary players, they made good money. But the money, compared to the money that they're making, they were making peanuts. All right, they weren't in the $1 million bracket back in those days. But back in those days, financially, that was real good money, So they were playing like for maybe triple digits, something like that. Triple digits. That was a lot of money back in those days. Hey, something? It's still a lot of money. Triple digits. That's still a lot of money. But the players today, depending on who they are, they're into the $1 million bracket. And the economy says so is because of the economy says things go up. So your salary should go up. And so here we are today, and people are making that kind of money. And I would say to all players, athletes who are playing, whether you're playing football, baseball, basketball, whatever it is, not to take that high salary for granted, And I mean, I'm pretty sure you heard the stories about how some of these players, what they do is that they make the big bucks, the $1 million bucks a year, $9 million a year, maybe more a year. And if they get so much as a hangnail, they'll cry out, "I can't play the game today. I have a hung nail," or I'm sniffling, I'm sneezing, I can't play today. And the guys back in those days, and I'm not taking anything away from the players of today, because a lot of these players of today are really putting their hearts into this game. But seeing that they're making the big bucks, the $1 million bracket bucks, and the players back in the 50s and the 60s, they weren't making that kind of money. They tore into that game like their lives depended on it. I mean, Mickey Mantle, he had a bum leg. We already know that. He had a bum leg, and he played anyway, And Willie Mays, of course, he didn't take much for him to go out on the field, and if he was sick, I don't even think that he let anybody know about it. He wanted to play that game. And that's the enthusiasm that the people and the players had back in those days. And the owners of the teams didn't mind paying the salaries of those people who were playing back then. And they're paying much more today, of course, obviously, but I don't think they mind as long as they're playing the game. For instance, the late George Steinbrenner, when he was around, George Steinbrenner, he paid. He spared no expense. God bless him, rest his soul. He spared no expense to the Yankees, but he would tell them, I'm paying you, but you are going to perform. You have to perform. And I mean, big time. I'm paying you this kind of money. I don't care. I don't mind paying the money, but I want to see you play the game, And he paid the money. He not only wanted the individuals to see them play the game, but he also wanted them to wind up playing baseball in October, which means the World Series. He always looked forward, and he pushed his guys pretty hard. He says, I'm paying you. I have the right to do this. I have the right to be in that dugout. I couldn't understand why he used to go into the dugout, and he was very proactive. He was the owner of the team, so he had the right to do that, and I used to think, well, why let the players play? Why don't intimidate them? Don't go in the dugout. But I understand why he did. I understand why he did it now, because when you're paying that kind of money out of your pockets to players, you want them to perform, and you want to do spot checks. And I don't know how the players took to that, but every once in a while he would go into the dugout for spot checks to make sure everybody's there, everybody's attired. And of course, baseball back in those days, they were clean cut gentlemen. Baseball players clean cut. They're not like today. I'm not saying that they're clean cut, but they didn't wear long hair. Today they're wearing long hair, they're wearing beards, they're wearing mustaches. But back in the early days, and I'm not talking about way back in the 1800s where they also wore long hair, wore mustaches, but the baseball franchise wanted them to play clean shaven. The fellas clean shaven, no long hair, clean shaven. They didn't wear the jewelry that you see them wear today. You see the baseball players, they're wearing this big jewelry around their attire. They weren't allowed to wear jewelry and rings or whatever. I don't think they would wear rings, especially not rings. And rings, you're going to want to keep your hands free from all the jewelry because you're constantly using them. And you're throwing your ball, especially a pitcher. He's not going to wear his rings. You're not going to wear those $10,000 rings at a baseball game, and possibly when you throw the ball, the ring will slip off, and who knows where it went. And if the ring is not insured, now you're really in deep trouble, right? So, but they didn't allow jewelry then. I guess the only jewelry that you were able to wear, let's say, for instance, if you were wearing a chain, a gold chain, a cross, small cross around your neck that didn't reach the outside of your garment, but a lot of these guys are wearing these rope chains right around their uniform, right around their jerseys, rope chains, not tucked in, but outside to be seen. And I understand why, and it was the same with us when I played baseball, right? I didn't play Major League Baseball, but I played baseball, and they told us the same thing, no jewelry, clean shaven, do that, and because the reason why they didn't want you to wear any jewelry, especially jewelry around your neck that covered, over your jersey, because who knows, maybe accidentally your hand could get caught into between the chain, and you're getting ready to make a play. And when you're getting ready to make a play, you're getting ready to throw, and all of a sudden you get caught. That's the reasons why they didn't do that. And I think they should really go back to that. I think they should take the chains off, because you never know. You never know. And a lot of these guys, they wear expensive chains. And of course, you want to make sure that you want to keep them, right? So you lock them up in your locker. No one will get them. Keep it locked up in your locker, and that's what we used to do. All jewelry, watches, bracelets, whatever, in the locker room, lock it up. No one will get it. You have the combination of your locker, or you have the key to your lock, and it'll be there when you get back. But that's what they did. Okay, it's now 25 minutes to the hour now, and we're 5 minutes away for DJ Pete. I have his information. DJ Pete is not going to be here, but DJ Pete, of course, I have his information of what's happening today in entertainment, reciting all of those birthdays. That's coming up in a few minutes. Also, later on in the program, I didn't mention it, but I have those classic movies that you love so much for the weekend. It's the weekend. So weekend proceeds of a lot of things. There's a lot of things you want to do on the weekend. You want to go here in New York. I know a lot of people are going to be staying in. We're going to get a lot of rain, unless, of course, you like being in the rain or singing in the rain. Unless you like being in, unless this is your kind of weather, then if you like that, I guess it doesn't make any difference. Then you can go out in the rain and waddle like a duck or whatever. But for those of you who despise the rain and you're going to be indoors and you're not going to have any way to go out and do things, and your only option on the indoor activities, well, I'm going to give you those movies that are coming up. They're classic movies, Turner Classic Movies. I have a couple of them that I'm going to convey to you later on in the program. And they're my picks for the week for your weekend. And that's coming right up. All of that is coming right up in just a few. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, excuse me while I shoot up. Okay, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And we do this each week. For those of you who know that we're here each week, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, we come on Instagram, and we also rebroadcast, like, for instance, we're still having the problem with YouTube, I see. And what's going to happen after this show is over, what we're going to do, we are going to rebroadcast the show right there on YouTube. So everyone in the YouTube community, you're missing this, we'll have that for you. And so, but it's good to know that we're still here live. And those of you, again, who are watching, and if you want to chime in conversation, we would love to have you. Those of you who are sitting idle, we thank you for being out there with us. And we're going to be here to the top of the hour, as I said. Again, Brian didn't come in, so we canceled sports for the day. So we did that little tidbit about Yankee Stadium. Of course, Willie Mays again celebrating his birthday, and so many other things that come. And there's another thing you can do. You can watch your favorite, your teams are coming up this weekend. It's going to be a lot of baseball this weekend too, usually is, right? So whatever team that you're looking for, you're rooting for, you have all of the channels that contain sports, nothing but sports. And a lot of people like to do that. So all of that is coming in, all of that's coming up, and we'll have all of that for you right here on the Coffee Hour. And I want to take time, because we always talk about this too each week. You already know that we're experiencing a war, right, with Russia and Ukraine. The Ukrainians, they're fighting a war which is needless as far as I'm concerned, and it's been with us for a while. What week are we in this war? 9 weeks now? Something like that? 9 weeks? Something like that, something to that nature. But, and that's a long time. That's a long time. And as you already seen, you've probably seen all the images on TV. It's like a war zone. It's not like a war zone. It is a war zone, absolutely a war zone. And things that were like really up in the air, like high rises and things like that, are no longer there. Or if they're there, they're like skeletons, windows knocked out, buildings are scorched, and all of the bombings come down. Little babies are killed, men, women, children of all ages are being killed. For the most part, a lot of people have been able to escape and go across the border and stay with family and friends, and even strangers have empathy to take these people in, to feed them, to clothe them, because they know they're in a bad place right now. So people are helping out. They're having that helping hand. People are helping out other people. And that's the way the world should be. So you have one side of the border of fighting like hell, and the other side of the border showing humanity. You know, why can't both sides of the border? And we've got an election coming up not too far away, midterm elections coming up in 2022, and use your vote wisely, please do that. And then, okay, 2 years after that, then you know what's happening. We've got the presidential elections. And right now, people are talking about how this country is just going to hell. They're griping about the president today. His approval ratings are very low. You already know that. And people are on pins and needles wondering what's going to happen in 2024. Is he going to rerun, or what's going to happen? Are we going to get another 2016 on the horizon? Is that what we're looking for? I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. I mean, we've had enough. But, you keep your fingers crossed, keep praying, keep your fingers crossed. There's just so many, it's hard to digest what's going on in the world right now. You got the virus going on, you have the war going on, you have people wondering what's going to happen in 2022 as far as the election concerned, and what's happening in 2024. It's terrible, really terrible. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, DJ Pete is not here, so we're overdue right now. It's time to give you that information. DJ Pete, it's DJ Pete's entertainment segment. He's not here today, so he left us some information, so I'm going to give you right now. Here we are, May 1st, 1929. Sonny James is born on that day, 1929. Sonny James, and Sonny James was an American country singer and songwriter, best known for the 1956 hit Young Love. Right? And I used to play that a lot on the radio. He was born on this day, 1928. He passed away February 22nd in 2016 at the age of 87 years old. Sonny James. And I love that song, Young Love. And he was very famous for that. So happy birthday, Sonny James, wherever you are. Okay, also born on that day in 1965, Wayne Hancock. Okay, now that's not a household name, right? Wayne Hancock. Wayne Hancock was born on this day in Dallas, Texas, as a matter of fact, better known for Wayne the Train Hancock. That was his stage name, Wayne the Train Hancock. An American songwriter, Hancock is known as the king of juke joint swing. All right, he swings, and because the sound was so unique. And so he's celebrating a birthday today. He's 57 years old. He's not celebrating today. He celebrated the 1st of this month. And he's 57 years old, born in Dallas, Texas. So happy birthday, Wayne the Train. And thank you so much for that. Okay, we move right along, and let's see. Oh, here we are, May 2nd. May 2nd, 1903. That was the year. We got Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby was born on that day. Bing Crosby, of course, his name is Harry Lillis Crosby Jr. Harry Lillis Crosby Jr. Bing Crosby, he was born on this day. He passed away October 14, 1977 at the age of 74 years old. And Bing Crosby was known for that great baritone voice of his. And he was a real deep crooner. You know, he had people going wild, known for Bing Crosby as an American singer and actor too. He was an actor. Of course, you already know that. That goes way back. I mean, I just saw one of his movies, a couple of his movies just the other day. One of them was High Society with Frank Sinatra and Louis Armstrong. And I saw that movie. and Grace Kelly. Yeah, she was in that movie too. And had a lot of great movies. A lot of great movies. So many great movies. He did this, The Bells of St. Mary's. Didn't he do that one? He did that one as well. You know, and that's usually done. You see that at Christmas time. So Bing Crosby. Now everybody knows Bing Crosby. When you think of Bing Crosby, when he does his notes, he goes. Bah, 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 bah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me say something about that. Bing Crosby, before, I mean, he did it later in his career. He did it. It's because the public put that on him. Now, how that came about, he never really did. Boom, 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 boom. He never really did that. He never really did that. But the public put that on him. How they did that, I don't know. And then it became his trademark. So whenever he did his songs, he would go, bah, 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 bah. And now we call him bah, 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 bing, bah, 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 bing. Bing Crosby. I love Bing Crosby. I think he was one of the greatest crooners back in his time. Link Ray was born the same day Bing Crosby was born. All right, now Bing Crosby is a household name. Link Ray wasn't, so we'll tell you about him. Link Ray was an American rock and roll guitarist, songwriter, and vocalist who became popular in the late 50s. And Rolling Stone placed Ray at number 45 on the 100 greatest guitarists of all time. Okay, so now you know a little more about him. He's no longer with us. He passed away November 5th, a day before my birthday. I was here, you know, I just turned a certain age, but he passed away November 5th, 2005 at the age of 76 years old. So he would have been celebrating his birthday today. He would have been 76 years old. And as we continue to go down the line, also born on the 3rd, Bing Crosby, Ray Lynn, also Frankie Valli. Frankie Valli, you already know him, of the Four Seasons, one of the Jersey Boys. Everybody knows Frankie Valli. He was originally from the Four Seasons, right? He was born on this day. He's 88 years old today. Happy birthday. He was born on the 3rd. I said on this day, but he was born on the 3rd of May. At the age of, he's 88 years old, known as Professional Frankie Valli. That's his professional name. But his name, his real name, he was born under the name of Francesco Stephen Casaluccio. But Frankie Valli, it's easier to remember. Frankie Valli of the Four Seasons. Happy birthday, Frankie Valli. He's still active today. At the age of 88, he's still active in his music. He's still going on strong. Okay, we move along to May 4th, 1937. That's the day Dick Dale was born. Now, who's Dick Dale? Dick Dale was an American guitar player, a rock guitar player. He was the pioneer of surf music, such as the Beach Boys, right? Dick Dale. He was born on May 4th, 1937. He passed away. He's no longer with us. He passed away at the age of 81. And March 16th is when he passed away of 2019. So there you go. Rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace. Okay, we move along. And here we go. On the 6th, that's today. Bob Seger is celebrating a birthday. Bob Seger, 77 years old today. He was born in 1945. Happy birthday, Bob Seger. Bob Seger, of course, you already know him. Those of you who don't, let me tell you a little about him. The American singer, songwriter, and musician, as locally successful in Detroit. And he was Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Remember the Silver Bullet Band? He was a member of that band. That was his band. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Happy birthday, Bob Seger. 77 years old today. Happy birthday, Bob. Okay, I love this music back in the 80s and the 70s. Great music. Okay, also born on this day, as I mentioned to you, Willie Mays. He's 91 years old today. All right, he's 91 years old, the Say Hey kid from the San Francisco Giants, from the New York Giants to the San Francisco Giants, back to New York Mets. So he started his career in New York and he's ended his career in New York. So happy birthday, Willie Mays, the Say Hey kid, 91 years old and still swinging, baby. All right, tomorrow, Lori Lynn's birthday is Lori Lynn, born in 1942. That's tomorrow's birthday, May 7th, on Mother's Day. And Lori Lynn, I'll tell you a little bit about her. She's an American country rockabilly artist and rock and roll singer, beginning in the mid-50s. And she and her brother, Larry Collins, performed together. They were both performers. So she's no longer with us, but you know, we acknowledge her anyway. August 4th is when she passed away in 2018 at the age of 76 years old. Got a lot of great memories here. And so that's going to do it. That's DJ It's Pete's part of the segment. DJ Pete's entertainment segment comes to a conclusion, and that's it. So DJ Pete, thank you so much for that. We hope to see you back here next week, as we hope to also see Brian back here as well. So that ends of this section of the 2020 feature of DJ Pete. Okay, here's some other birthdays, ladies and gentlemen. Actor George Clooney is celebrating a birthday today. He's 61 years old. Actress Aroma Downey, remember, she used to be in that series Touched by an Angel along with Della Reese. She's 62 today. Actress Julianne Phillips is 62. Actress Kate Collins, she played Natalie Hunter on All My Children years ago. She's 63 today. Herbie Cox, who's no longer with us, from the doo-wop group. He was in that doo-wop group back in the 50s and the 60s. Remember? He would have been 84 today as Herbie Cox. And Reuben Hurricane Carter would have been 85 today. He was the boxer. Actor Orson Welles, actor, director Orson Welles. He would have been 107 years old. And Bernard Toots Shaw, remember Toots Shaw? Toots Shaw was a restaurant owner. And he had a restaurant, he had chains of restaurants around the country, Toots Shaw, but he had one here in New York, not off, right off of Madison Square Garden, called Toots Shaw. And he was friends of a lot of people. He was friends of Jackie Gleason and Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis, Dean Martin, all of those people you know back in those days used to go into his restaurant, Toots Shaw. I was into his restaurant, Toots Shaw, once. I never met Toots, but I went to his restaurant once over at Madison Square Garden. He's no longer around, but he would have been 119 years old, Toots Shaw. Those are all the birthdays today. People are celebrating birthdays. Herbie Cox, I missed him. And Herbie Cox used to sing those great songs, you know, and he had that great voice. And, you know, he died, I think just, what was it, just last year he passed away? It was just last year, you know. And he did so many great sounds, you know. He had his group, you know, and he used to always, I loved the way he sang. He had a distinct voice, you know. And yeah, I used to always play his records all the time. Played his records all the time, and he was always there, entertaining. And I never knew him, but I understood he was a real nice guy. Everybody said, "Oh man, you got to meet this guy. You know, he's a real nice guy." And there was so much to talk about with him. As a matter of fact, let me do something here. Let me see if I can give a little more information about him, because there's a lot to talk about with Herbie Cox. Herbie Cox. If I can find him. Herbie Cox. Yeah, well, I don't see a picture of him here. I don't see a picture of him here. Unless they have the wrong Herbie Cox here. Okay, this is a different Herbie Cox. This is a different Herbie Cox. They don't have the one, the Herbie Cox that I'm looking for. All right. Anyway, that's what's happening in today's segment of entertainment, all entertainment. And those are the birthdays, and we thank you guys so much for being with us. Okay, now before we go, we want to let you know, first of all, DJ Pete, he has a radio show. You can catch him, right? Catch DJ Pete on www.radio-airwaves.co.uk. That's on Mondays from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Also, you can catch him on his hometown station, WMPG, or WMPG.org. And that's every other Tuesday between 8:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. and all times of Eastern. And that's in the zone of the United States and Canada. So there you have it. Okay, it's time for us to give you all of those movies that we were telling you about, those classic movies. Now, if you're going to be home watching movies, and especially if you're in New York, where, of course, all of the movies you already know are going to be played, and you have that dreary weather, this is a good time to sit back and relax. So here's my picks of the weeks from Turner Classic Movies. Now, this one is not one of those black and white movies, or it's a classic from the 1950s and 60s. This actually goes back to 1969, and I put it out there. Putney Swope. Putney Swope is sort of like a kind of a comedy, musical drama kind of thing, and it's on Saturday. You can catch it out. That's tonight, Friday night, Saturday morning at 2 a.m. on Turner Classic Movies. Now, in that movie, a good friend of mine, my high school mate, Ronnie Dyson, who's no longer with us as well, he had a part in that movie, along with Melba Moore and a few other people. That's Putney Swope, 1969. That's Saturday morning at 2 a.m. Eastern. Also, The Graduate comes on from 1967, Dustin Hoffman and Anne Bancroft, and that's on Sunday morning at 4 a.m. Now, if you are not up at these hours, of course, you want to DVR it, DVR Putney Swope and DVR The Graduate, 4 a.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movies. And finally, as I told you last week, The Imitation of Life, 1959 version that was on. If you had a chance to see that, well, you can compare the remake to the original. The remake was in 1959. The original was in 1934 with Claudette Colbert and Louise Beaver, Imitation of Life. And this one comes on Turner Classic Movies, and it comes on this Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern. And this is the original one. So if you want to compare the two to see which one you like best, I would advise you to check this one out as well. If you haven't seen the remake last week, but you know about the movie, it's a good time to watch the 1934 version to compare to see which one you like best. And I would like your feedback on that next week. Let me know how you like it. If you haven't seen the 1934 version, check it out. Come back to me next week and let me know how it goes, all right? So again, let me repeat those movies. That's Putney Swope. That's Saturday at 2 a.m. Eastern. Of course, if you're not going to be up, DVR it. And The Graduate from 1967, Dustin Hoffman and Anne Bancroft. Sunday at 4 a.m. DVR it. And Imitation of Life, Claudette Colbert and Louise Beaver. That's Sunday at 12 noon, 12 p.m. Eastern. And it's right here, right there on Turner Classic Movies. And I thank you guys so much for being with us. My time is just about to run out right now. It is about to run out right now, but I've had a good time. I really did. And I hope that you enjoyed it as well. Before I go, I want to say hello to Mary. Hiya, Mary. Good to see you. Finally back. Yeah, we're finally back on Facebook. And we're here to stay. Hopefully, they don't kick us off anymore. But thank you, Mary, for being along with us. And thank you, everybody, for being along with us. We got to go. We're going to come back on Thursday night. Thursday night, we'll be here. Thursday night, we're going to be here for Talk Back Live. Brian Camp will be with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports, and you'll be here with conversation as well. And we look forward to seeing you then. Other than that, I will be back here next weekend, live here on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of those places. And we'll have coffee together and we'll have conversation. Brian Kent will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports, along with DJ Pete. Our 2020 feature will be Brian 20 after the hour, DJ Pete 20 to the hour. We look forward to seeing you guys then. Until then, you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with Frank Allen. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistance, Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer, Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.